In Health Source 10, for most children, camp can be a fun-filled time, but it's important to take the necessary steps in advance to promote a safe and healthy summer. With us today to discuss camp health and offer 5 tips to reduce the risk of injury and illness is nurse practitioner Leslie Berge from the Minute Clinic. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, this is an exciting time for kids, but a stressful time for parents as they get their kids ready to go to summer camp. All these things parents have to think about. Let's talk about the camp itself. You want to make sure that your kid is included in that decision, right?
That's correct. You want to make sure that you find a camp that's going to build to your child's strengths. For instance, if some of the activities are canoeing or boating, things like that, if they're not a strong swimmer, that may not be the appropriate choice of camp.
One of the things, kids spend a lot of time at camp outside. Skincare is a big issue in terms of blocking the sun. Talk about some of the products you've brought here and what kind of choices there are for parents.
There's lots of choices. If it's an outdoor camp, you want to look at, bug repellent. There's choices with DEET or without DEET. You want to, again, look at the camp choice because the repellent with DEET in it actually has protection against ticks versus some of the other repellents may not protect as well against the ticks. You also want to look at sunscreen, whether it's a waterproof sunscreen, a sports sunscreen, proper protection for that. Really, a 30% or 30 will protect about 97% of UV rays, so anything more than that may not be necessary.
That's always a question for parents. How much SPF should I get, 30 or 60? So you suggest 30 starting at the low level, and you can obviously go up from there.
Correct.
And in terms of the spreading of the sunscreen for a child, talk about where the most important places on the body you want to make sure that you hit.
It depends, again, the length of exposure and stuff, but a lot of kids will forget about the tops of their ears, their nose, their shoulders, that kind of stuff. You may want to get a spray, if it's a younger child, to make sure that they can get even distribution on it. But again, face, cheeks, the top of the ears, those pieces.
Okay. And in terms of, obviously kids will be out running around. You want to make sure you have sturdy shoes that your child has so they don't get injured. Yes,
shoes are important. Sprained ankles, cuts, scrapes, things like that are important. So if they need hiking boots, if they need tennis shoes, the right kind of shoes, are appropriate. You want to think about allergies, food allergies, to talk to the camp director and the counselor about that. If there's any insect allergies, to make sure that you have an EpiPen to send with your child, or that the camp counselor knows how to use it. Also, is a good idea is to get the camp physical. That is something to see their healthcare provider, or they can come into Minute Clinic at any of our 17 locations to get the camp physical. We go over education, make sure vaccines are all up to date, and just to help prevent any issues or concerns that may come up during the camp experience.
A lot of planning for parents as they send their child away. All right, Leslie Berge, thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you.
Great tips.